Hey, welcome back to Houston Life. With the school year in full swing, many parents are on the lookout for something nutritious and delicious that will help keep their kids fueled throughout the afternoon.
And some kids are already getting bored. I know this because I'm hearing this around the office. So from a well-balanced meal to prepping over the weekend, Mary Ellen Phipps of Milk and Honey Nutritious joins us now with tips to keep lunchtime yummy and exciting. By the way, you're not just a nutritional expert, you really are a parenting expert. We've had you on the show many, many times, and you have 2 in elementary school, 1 in middle school. So being a dietitian, you know what you're talking about.
Yes. Do they listen, though? That's
do they listen? Okay, so what are some of the things we need to consider when planning lunches for our young ones?
Yeah, so regardless of age, in an ideal world, you're going to want to get fruits and vegetables, whole grains, less added sugar, fiber, all those things. But are kids actually going to eat those things?
Yeah.
Right.
So one of the things I tell parents to think about is school lunch, or the lunch they're eating at the school, is not the time to try to put new foods on them or get them to eat these things that they're not really comfortable with.
Right.
I know, like my kids, they get 25 minutes, but part of that is spent walking to lunch, and so at the end of the day, they really only have like 15 minutes or something.
Wow.
And so just something to think about, like comfort, balancing comfort and nutrition, and how we can do that for the different age groups that we have.
Right, and you want them to get, enough energy to sustain them through the day. So how are you doing that? What kind of things are you doing?
Right, so one of the key things we want to focus on is protein, fat, and fiber. These are the things that keep kids full and energized to get them to the end of that school day. Do I want them to eat their fruits and vegetables at lunchtime? 100%. But am I going to stress if that's like taking them too long? Probably not.
Okay.
So there's ways we can balance all of this.
Getting a system into place, I think, is also a challenge because routines are important, right? It's good when kids are going back to school and they're getting up and having that routine. You have some helpful tips when it comes to getting this routine down pat.
Right, so you have to decide what works for your family. There's no right or wrong answer. Do you need to prep on the weekend? Do you need to prep the night before? Are you a morning of kind of family? It's not the truth in our house, but whatever works. What works for you, and then get your kids involved. And so one of the things I like to do is have a formula so that, like you were saying, for the kids who get bored and want something different every day, you can adapt to that. But also for the kids who find comfort in having the same thing every day, that's okay too.
Yeah, and I was gonna, that was a great point that you make, getting the kids involved, because what if you're a single parent, or what if there are multiple siblings? Like, this shouldn't just all fall on mom, or dad. How do you incorporate that into your system?
100%, yeah. So I have a little formula that I like to use, and you'll see a lot of these bento box style lunch boxes up here, where I tell the kids, you get 1 fruit or vegetable, whatever you want to put in there. You get 1 protein. You get, if we can find a way to put a fat in there, we do that. I tell them to pick a crunchy food, and then I say pick a treat.
Okay.
And you can pick the same thing every day, or we can mix it up, whatever works.
Okay.
And some of these foods, it does seem like if you are the type who wants to prepare maybe the Sunday before the school week, that doesn't mean you have to prepare the entire lunch. You can just prepare like the dry goods, the snackable goods for the week ahead?
Right. So if you want to make some sandwiches ahead of time, like I have one up here, wrap it in a paper towel so it doesn't get soggy. Those will keep in an airtight container. If you want to figure out what packaged foods you're going to do, or if you do want to go the homemade route, like something like this, like an energy bite or some edible cookie dough type situation where you make it on the weekend and then kind of have them in the categories so the kids can pitch in as well.
And let's talk about prepackaged versus packaged foods. What things do you love? What things have you tried and maybe not worked out, or what really works well?
So again, going back to that, we're focusing on the kids getting protein, fat, and fiber. Those are the nutrients I'm looking for. Also want to minimize that added sugar, but honestly, I'm more concerned that they're getting nutrients that are going to fill their bellies and keep them satisfied and energized. We know if they're getting a ton of simple carbohydrates and sugar at lunchtime, that's going to spike that energy, and then they're going to crash in the afternoon at school, and we don't want that to happen.
And I noticed that in a lot of the examples you brought today, like here we're looking at carrots, strawberries, boiled eggs here, your serving sizes are quite small, and there's a lot of variety in each little bento box. Why is that important?
So one of the things for younger kids is like preschoolers, younger elementary, they can get really overwhelmed with large serving sizes.
Yeah.
That's one big mistake I see parents make. And so a key to kind of help encourage them to eat that's less overwhelming is smaller serving sizes of a bunch of different things.
Okay.
It makes them feel a little bit more comfortable, and they're not quite as intimidated by what's
The variety
in front
is
of them.
fun too.
Variety, yes. Speaking of variety, I'm noticing are these baked treats that you have? Is this something you make at home, or is this an easy recipe that you work with?
These are no-bake treat recipes you can find on milkandhoneynutrition.com, but this is, it was a PB&J bite, but we've adapted it to be school-friendly to where there's no peanut butter in there. You can swap in a seed butter, almond butter, something like that, and then this is a classic recipe. Chickpea cookie dough.
Oh.
The kids will never know.
Really?
My kids gobble them up. I had them in the car yesterday, and my daughter was so excited, shoveling them in her mouth. So there's different ways to get a really nutrient-dense things.
Sorry.
You could try this chickpea cookie dough.
Also, what if you have a problematic, I don't know, a child who wants to pack their own lunch, they're a picky eater, and maybe they just want to eat, delicious cookie dough all day.
And so that's the thing. At the end of the day, we want them to be comfortable so that they actually will eat. And so you go back to those categories, and I say, okay, you have to pick one food from each thing. You can pick what you want it to be, but we're going to hit each category.
Okay.
It's very,
how
very
is
good.
it? How is it? I'm going to try the other one.
Essentially cookie dough made of beans.
Anything no bake, I'm kind of for that.
You have something like a homemade Lunchable, kind of like build your own snack. Can you walk us through that? Show us how
Right.
to do
So
that.
actually, you guys can build your own
Let's do
Lunchables
it.
if you want
Great.
to. I've got some great containers up here. I love the stainless steel bentos for the younger kids, but those older kids, you don't know if it's going to come home. You don't know if it's going to end up in the trash. So I love these easy lunch boxes. They're like $15 for 4 of them on Amazon. So if it gets
Awesome.
tossed, but we're going to start with that fruit or vegetable.
Okay.
So what are we gonna pick? We've
Probably
got
grapes.
Carrots, grapes, and remember for those young kids, if you're putting grapes in, we need to cut those into quarters
Okay.
and things like that.
Okay.
I'm going to add a few grapes.
I
into
wouldn't
mine.
throw these at the cafeteria.
No,
I
the
wouldn't throw
lunchbox
these at
is
my
great.
friends. No way.
Lunchboxes have come a long way too because sogginess, that's another issue that
Yes.
a lot of young people, if you have a soggy sandwich at lunch, that is not a recipe for a good time.
Again, getting these kids excited to eat in the short time frame that they're given.
Yeah.
So once we get our fruit or our vegetable, then we move on to a protein source. So we've got some proteins over there.
Ooh, okay.
And actually, the beauty of kind of some of these no-bake treats is they can also double as a protein source, and your kids think they're getting a treat.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a couple.
We've also got yogurt drinks are a good option. Yogurt with a spoon can be difficult in some cafeteria or classroom situations, but I love these drinks because they don't require a spoon and they can just be real quick. Then we've got our plant-based fat.
Okay.
We've got guacamole cups in there. You can also
fun.
get hummus cups.
Fun.
Again, a lot
Yes.
of these treats can kind of function as that. And then you
Very
can't forget
clever.
something crunchy.
I got my crunches.
I love a
box.
good whole grain cracker situation. That's a good way to get whole grains in kids. I love these Triscuit thins.
I am
They're
so
super delicious.
ready for lunch right now.
This would actually be perfect for adults too.
Yeah, this
I
still
love
plays.
eating this
still
way.
plays.
And then finally a treat. And again, if we're kind of prepping ahead, if you want to do some low sugar chocolate chips or these homemade treats or a fun bar, what kid doesn't love a bar?
Oh, this is, what adult doesn't?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
great stuff.
This is great.
And also a reminder that Mary Ellen, your journey began because of your own experience with diabetes. And so shifting the way you eat was like a very critical thing to do in your life.
Yeah, so I was diagnosed with type 1 when I was 5, and so my parents had to do this for me, and they really were the ones and family members who taught me, you don't have to eat boring, bland food to be healthy. There's all sorts of options out there.
Okay, those
Thank you
chickpea
so
cookie
much.
dough balls.
This is
calling my
fantastic.
name, Mary
Yeah,
Ellen
they're
Phipps.
good.
Congrats to your little ones, by the way.
Thank
Brand new
you.
school year. You can visit our website. We have provided a link to Mary Ellen's guide to no bake treats. HoustonLife.tv. Just look for that scene on Houston Life section.